She always told me, Mom, if I died, I'm doing something I love to do. So, it made me feel a little better, but this does not make me feel better.
Tonight at 5, that mother is looking for answers after her daughter, an off-duty St. Louis police officer, was shot and killed by a fellow officer. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Claire Kellett.
I'm Courtney Bryant. 24-year-old Caitlin Alex was at the home of another officer in South St. Louis when she was shot just before 1 this morning. The home is on Dover Place near Colorado Avenue, just north of Carondelet Park.
Police tell us Officer Alex was with 2 male officers who were on duty at the time, and News 4 has confirmed the gun she was killed with was not a department-issued weapon.
Tonight, News 4 has team coverage talking with Officer Alex's mother, as well as checking in with city officials about why these officers were at a home outside their district.
We begin tonight with our Russell Kinsaw, who is pushing investigators for more details. He is live tonight from police headquarters.
Well, I can tell you there will be 2 simultaneous investigations, one by the police department, the other by the circuit attorney's office with assistance from the highway patrol. Police for now are calling this an accidental shooting, but there are so many questions to be answered. How did this happen when officers are trained to safely handle firearms? After the sun came up, neighbors were talking about the officer who lived at the home in the 700 block of Dover where the shooting happened.
I spoke to him quite a few times, coming in and out. I didn't know him personally, and I didn't know his lifestyle, but he seemed like a nice guy.
According to Riley, 24-year-old Caitlin Alex, who was killed in the shooting, had visited the home before.
And I saw him last week. I saw her, and that's the second time I saw her,
According to police, Officer Alex was off duty when she visited around 1 a.m. The 29-year-old male officer who lives there was on duty and was with another 29-year-old male officer who was also on duty. Police say one of the male officers was sitting in the living room and mishandled a firearm, causing it to discharge. Alex was hit in the chest, and after the 2 officers rushed her to St. Louis University Hospital, she was pronounced dead. The police department's Force Investigative Unit, which investigates all officer-involved shootings, is working to answer the many questions about what happened.
They're very highly trained to investigate these sort of things, and we're confident that they'll have answers for all of us very soon.
Black bunting was draped from the front of the St. Louis Police Officers Association offices to mourn Officer Alex's death.
Was off to a bright career, which has been cut short today.
Now, Officer Alex was off duty, would not have been wearing a bullet-resistant vest that all officers are required to wear when they're out on patrol. I talked with a woman who lives very nearby who heard the gunshot, what she said about the sound of that gun going off, coming up all noon on News 4 at 6. Live downtown at police headquarters, Russell Kinsaw, News 4.
News 4 has learned Officer Caitlin Alex was married just 3 months ago.
News 4's Paige Holsey talked to her family today about the young woman's life, including her years of service. Paige joins us live in studio.
Yeah, her family called her Katie, and in pictures they shared with us, she had a huge smile. They say she lived life to the fullest, but she also spent much of her life serving others. Before she became a police officer, she was in the Army.
Says, "Hey, Mom, sorry."
Reading letters Katie wrote when she first enlisted.
I'm ready to come home. I miss everyone.
Memories came flooding back for Caitlin Alex's mom, Amy.
Okay, I love you. I miss you, Katie.
Her mom says Katie joined the military when she was just 17 years old.
I signed for her because that's what she wanted to do, and she was following her brother's footsteps because he did the same.
After several years as a military police officer, she became an officer in the city of St. Louis, most recently working in the 2nd District.
Her whole life was the police department.
In October, Katie married a fellow city officer, Anthony Meyer.
Because she was marrying the love of her life.
Now, her family and friends are leaning on memories and pictures as a reminder of her full life of service cut too short.
She really is a true hero.
Her family says they are still piecing together what actually happened, and they too still have many questions. Hear what they're saying about the investigation coming up at 6. Claire, Courtney.
All right, Paige. Chief, among the many questions that remain, what were those officers doing at the home while on duty?
Our Lauren Traeger joining us live tonight from St. Louis City Hall with more details.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Officer Alex was off duty at the time this happened. The other two officers were on duty, but the public safety director here at City Hall today told us they were not in the district. They are assigned to patrol.
That, of course, will be evaluated and considered. It is our expectation that officers are where they are assigned.
Public Safety Director Jimmy Edwards warns everyone from speculating about what happened early Thursday morning, but he says everything is on the table for investigation, including why the officers were at the home in the 700 block of Dover. That is located in the city's first police district. But Edwards says the two on-duty officers were assigned to work in the city's second district on the southwest side of the city. News 4 mapped it out. From the home to one edge of the district is about 3 miles or a 10-minute drive away. We asked Edwards about the policies for when officers can leave their patrol district.
Of course they are allowed to leave their district, but under certain circumstances, and I am not at this time prepared to give you very specific the types of circumstances that they are allowed to leave the district, but the answer is that they're not so restricted that they cannot leave.
Chief John Hayden had previously mentioned it was one of the officers' homes. We asked Edwards about when it is appropriate for officers to go home in the middle of their shift.
I would imagine that if there's an emergency or if it's an emergent situation that they would be allowed to go home. But again, I'm not prepared to speculate with respect to the situation that occurred.
Edwards definitely urging patience as this investigation continues. Now, Edwards also talked about certain policies that now pertain to these officers as the investigations move forward. For example, it may yet be another day or so before they give full, in-depth official statements about exactly what happened. We'll tell you all about that coming up on News 4 at 6. Live downtown, Lauren Traeger, News 4.
News 4 was also at the hospital overnight where the 24-year-old died. Our photographer saw crime scene tape surrounding the squad car the officer was transported from the scene in. News 4 is asking police why it appeared to have a window busted out. Chief Hayden says that is still under investigation.
And be sure to stay with News 4. We will bring you the latest information as soon as we get new details on this story. We will continue to update you right here on air and on the KMOV News app.